Yeah, hi everybody. Ryan back here with you again today, out here in the shop that we've been kind of getting put together. I'm going to start a little shop series here, just kind of random stuff that might be working on some of the tractors or truck stuff or whatever, or any other type of little welding projects or whatever we got going on at the time. But I bought this little D14 tractor here. I think if you guys watched the video with the new three more new old tractors that we brought this one home. When I bought it, everything was supposed to be good to go, but when I went to pick it up, he had it running, said he had some trouble with the starter and this and that. Got it home and pulled the starter out and chucked the battery and all the wiring and everything. That looked all good. I bench tested it, and it turned out it's real weak. I mean, you can actually like stick a screwdriver on the gear and stop it. So, I mean, if I can stop the starter with a screwdriver, obviously it's not going to turn over an engine. So it probably needs rebuilt. I was looking at rebuild kits for them, and they were about $130 for a complete kit on eBay with everything. And they had brand new starters on there for $229, I think, delivered, free shipping, and that's right here. So I went ahead and ordered one of those, and I got it here a couple days ago. I was actually surprised. I figured it'd be made in China or Taiwan or someplace over in Asia, and be all cheap and everything else. But it's actually made in Canada, and actually looks halfway decent craftsmanship on it. So I'm kind of impressed with that for the price. I'll still probably take the old one here. You see it, and I'll do some close-ups here in a second and turn this thing around. Probably take it apart and see what's wrong with it. Maybe rebuild it, just throw it on the shelf and have a spare one, or sell it down the road or whatever. So, but I'm kind of excited. I mean, I planned on selling this tractor. Kind of when I got it home, I started playing around with it and looking at it, and I think I'm probably going to hold on to it for what I have into it. I mean, looks like the front main seal looks like it's leaking a little bit, possibly. So I might have to look at doing that. But if I get that far, I mean, these are really cheap to rebuild. I mean, you can get a complete major overhaul kit with bearings, cylinder kits, everything, gaskets, for right in the $500 to $600 range. So I mean, I'd probably you figure machining on the head and all that. I mean, you could probably rebuild this engine for about $1,000 and have a brand new engine. So we'll see what happens. But I kind of wanted to keep it to hook my plant, just use it for a plant and tractor and maybe rake hay or something with it. So I'm gonna throw this starter on here and kind of kick off this new little thing, what we're doing here. So once I get been working on the shop and resurfacing the concrete in here. The concrete and all that was kind of broke up, as you can see there. So I've been doing these little sections at a time, like 6 by 8 or 10 or so sections here. So I want to get this thing running, get started in it, get it out of here, get the 530 out of here, and move the 530 up. Then I wanted to do another section over there today, since I kind of got delayed on my load, so I'm not going to leave out till Monday. So get something done. But other than that, I mean, this is really one of the the starter's already out, obviously, and I wish I would have done something as far as video before I took it out. But it's really simple. This is one of the easiest starters I think you'll probably ever change out. I mean, the first step, you got these two side panels here, and this one's actually no, it's for this side. Yeah, that guy goes, no, it's for the other side. Yep, for this side. So, I mean, really the first step is take these two side panels off here. It's just got some 1/2 inch or 5/16 bolts in it. Zip those out real quick, pull those side panels off. And you got some wiring right here. You got a wire from the alternator, wire up to the ignition switch, and your starter sense wire or ignition wire, whatever you want to call it, to engage the starters right here. And that's really, I mean, in the battery wire, obviously. So I mean, the idea is to unhook the negative battery cable over there. Should go around there. So the battery's right here, negatives on this side. All you gotta do is unhook that right here after you pull the panels off. And there's a big set screw here that actually has there's a kind of a divot machined into the starter, and you set the starter in, and this lines up with that, and you set it in, then tighten that lock nut down, and that's pretty. I mean, reverse process of that, obviously, to take it out. But that's really pretty much it. So the starter slides in here, then this just sets in and tightens it down, hit the lock nut there, or jam nut, whatever you want to call it, and then that's pretty well. I mean, I didn't really have to take anything else out, so really pretty. I had the thing out of here in about 15 minutes, so really pretty simple process. But we'll go ahead and get everything set up here and flip this thing around and put it back in and see what we got. So here's that new starter that we got. I'm going to see it's made in Canada there, and actually I said I'm pretty impressed with the quality of it. Comes with 1 year warranty, and even came with the solenoid and all that too. So there's that hole where that set screw goes into over there on the side. So pretty easy setup. I mean, it ain't like a lot of them where you got all the bolts around it that you got to take out. And the only thing is with these, you want to make sure you don't mess with this. Don't run this gear out, because it won't ratchet itself back in. I mean, if you do run this out, best practice is don't touch that. If you do for some reason run it out, or it is ran out, you're either going to have to take like a wire wheel and run it back in, or try to line it up with put it in the tractor or whatever, and line it up with the ring gear on the flywheel. Then after you start the tractor the first time or whatever, it should run it back in by itself. So the old starter is right here. So like I said, I hooked it up to the other tractor out there with a set of jumper cables, and you can hook your, if you can get a pair of jumper cables, hook them up to a battery, or if you got an older battery charger with like a 300 amp engine start or something, you can try to kind of go on this terminal and this terminal and kind of cross them together, and it engage the starter. But I was actually able to stick a screwdriver in here and stop it, and that's what it was doing. It was engaging into the ring gear on the flywheel here, but it wouldn't turn the tractor. It was just like pretty well stalling out for the most part, so it needs taken apart and probably rebuilt. So but on these, there's a couple different starters that they used on these, and you can take a wire brush, and this is the number that you're looking for, this 11077 58, yeah, 58, I believe, right there, Delco Remy. And that's what you're gonna want. You need that number there to identify which starter you have. So, because I think there's 2 or 3 different ones that they use depending on the years and all that. So that's why I had to take it out first, was to identify which one I had before I ordered the new one here. So, but that's pretty much it. I'm gonna go ahead and get started on this, and we'll continue from there. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and stick this thing in here. If I can remember how I wheeled it out. Take that out. And obviously that little hole there needs to be on this side. And I'll make sure that jam nut's all the way back. And put that back in. Really all it needs is the 3/8 socket set and a little basic set of wrenches. So not a whole lot of special tools required for this or anything. Yeah, it's 11/16. that down and tighten the gem back on there. Bigger wrench. So it looks like that set screw was a 11/16 and looks like that jam that's going to be a 15/16. So you don't want to get overzealous with this thing because you could snap the bolt off, so just get it tight to where it locks it down. But as far as putting the starter in, that's pretty well it. Now let's go around and hook up the wiring and see if this thing won't start. I had to fix one connection over there, but I'll show you guys that on the other side. Alright, so I already fixed this this wire here for the starter engagement. It was exciter wire, whatever you want to call it. It was like bare wire, so I cut that off and put a heat shrink terminal on there. I'm gonna go ahead. They must have cut these for some reason for a bigger studded solenoid, so they're not gonna work very well with what we have now. So I'm gonna cut these off and fix those too while I'm at it here. So let's cut these guys off. And take some strippers here. And I always like to use on positive side, use some heat shrink tubing. Put that on first. If I don't have this was an actual, it had heat shrink on it already, but this size doesn't, so I have to put these on. I'm not too concerned about that plastic since we're heat shrinking it. Now, this is one of my favorite tools. This is a Power Probe micro torch. I've had this since my days at Ohio Cat, and really good for heat shrinking and for padlocks or locks and stuff like that. If you're in the colder areas, if they freeze up, works really well for throwing stuff like that out. And it's butane and refillable. But I've had this thing for probably close to 8 years or something, and it's still going strong. And kind of hit and run heat there. Don't want to catch it on fire or anything. It's good as new. Those will be hot for a second. So take that off. Put one of these on first. these all these power wires, they all go on the same stud. I mean, obviously if yours was wired different, then probably want to do it however it came apart. It's kind of an awkward position. It's that lock washer that's not going to allow me to put that back on. So we'll have to go without the lock washer. And you want to be careful with over tightening these studs because you can actually break it loose. If you turn the whole thing, you can break it loose inside of the solenoid. So that could be a problem. Alright, all the connections are tight, starter's in. We hook the battery back up and see if it'll start. Alright, so got everything together here. Actually went ahead and cleaned out notice the settling globe was kind of dirty, which with these, shut the gas off obviously, and sometimes you have to take a little pair of pliers or something and give that nut a turn to break it loose. Then you pull that settling globe off and spray it out with some brake cleaner or something and dry it off. And, there was a lot of sediment in there, so I don't know how long this tractor guy had it in a collection, been sitting for a while. So I got that cleaned out, and we'll go ahead and wanted to do that before I tried starting it, in case I had some water or something. We'll go ahead and try starting it here. See what we got. So our starter works now, and it starts up and runs halfway decent. I mean, I can tell it's probably needs a tune up and points, distributor, you know, condenser or distributor cap and all that. So that'd probably be for another day, though. I might get a carburetor rebuild kit and do something on that as well. But at least I got it where to start up without pulling it, and I can move it to the other building so we can finish other projects we got in here. So. If you're putting all these on, it's a pretty simple project. I don't know how much the D15 took over where this tractor left off, and this is the 1960s, and the D15 took the place of it, so I don't know if that one, how close that is to being the same as far as doing that starter job, but pretty easy. I mean, maybe 30-40 minutes total on the job, and as I said, new starter is available pretty cheap, and see how it works here. 1-year warranty, I'll send that stuff in. So hope y'all like the video. Give us a thumbs up if you do. Subscribe if you haven't already, and hit the bell for the updates if you are subscribed. You know, we do a little bit of everything here. Owner-operator trucking stuff, Landstar stuff, truck maintenance, tractor stuff. Got 6 or 7 tractors here now, I think. So when everything needs work. So we got on our D17 diesel. Got some major stuff coming up on that, major overhaul and all that probably. So. That'll be coming down the line as well. Farming stuff, once the weather gets a little bit nicer, we'll have some stuff on that, and we're there. So I hope y'all enjoyed it. If you're doing this job, hope that helps you out, gives you a little bit of insight. Might do something, might rebuild that other starter and do something on that as well, a video or something. So, but again, thanks for the support and the views, and we'll see y'all next time.